G'day, welcome to Beer Club. I'm Moppy.
And I'm Luke. This week we are drinking a beer from Kererū. It is Beast in Show. I've got along Moppy as a very special guest this week.
Am I special, really?
You are so special.
Thank you, Luke.
Moppy has nothing to do with Kererū. You're not a brewer.
No.
You don't work in the beer industry at all, but you are one of the very oldest beer jerks.
I think I was a beta tester.
You
Way
were
back
a
when.
jerk before beer
Jerks
jerk was
existed.
actually a thing.
A pre-jerk.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
So 11
we-
years ago, because Beer Jerk started in March 2015,
Yeah.
and this would have been the leading up to that, so around
yeah,
about this time.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Cheers.
anniversary. So you have drank well over 500 different beers with us.
More than it's a lot, isn't it?
One beer every
And-
week, never the same beer
And they're
twice.
all different.
Yeah.
Then some standouts. Texas Ranger is one that I always remember well.
Yeah, Mikula.
Yeah.
The Chipotle spiced.
It was the only chili spice beer that I've ever really liked.
Yeah, good smokiness and roundness. And,
Yeah.
well, yeah, there have been some incredible beers over the years.
This is tasty.
This is a very tasty beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what is it?
Scotch ale.
Yep.
So Kererū. So it's some Americans, more fantastic immigrants that we need more of in this country. So Chris and his wife Natasha kicked off Kererū back in 2010. So they were working in special effects in movies and stuff, and I think there was some sort of credit crunch or financial crisis around them. They seem to happen quite often. They got into brewing beer because surely people always want to drink good beer. That could never be a business that suffers with recessions. And they started Kererū and are in just on the edge of Brewtown. So you can go and visit them. They don't have a tap room, but you can get takeaway beers there. So if you pop in there, they have a few taps. You can go and often Chris is around. You can have a chat with him or the brew team.
Yeah, if you're ever driving out that way, it's worth just popping in. So, you'll
Nice part of the
see if
country,
they're
eh?
there or not. It's a great place to go for a drive.
Yeah.
Great driving roads. Go down through the gorge, come out the other side.
Yeah.
There's Kererū down there on the right, I think, if you're heading south, if I remember rightly.
Yeah.
So what makes it a Scotch ale?
I was going to say it's a
That's
good
what I
place
wanna
to get a friend to drive you around.
Oh,
if you're
yeah,
going
absolutely.
near
Yeah.
Yes, Kererū. So they do loads of really cool, interesting beer styles. Like I've been talking about quite a bit recently. It's getting harder to find interesting beer styles, and that's what Beer Jerk's all about. Trying lots of different stuff, not just hazies and lagers, although they're also wonderful beers.
I went to 3 different beer shops in the last week, and only one of them had anything like a Scotch ale.
Yeah.
It was the 8 wide one that's around at the moment. It's an 8 wide. I can't remember what it was called.
I don't know, what would be the one that's similar? Oh, is it the one in the small can? Small red can?
No, it's a red ale and a 440. Dark coloured can.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah.
Anyway, it does make for good TV, so we'll,
No, it does.
we'll come
Terrible.
back to it if it pops into your head.
So what makes it a Scotch ale compared to anything else? That's what, like, is it
It's
actually different malt, or is it a?
no, well, it's the same core ingredients of British beers, but it's
Yeah.
it's a beer from Scotland, so
Right.
Originated in Edinburgh.
So they're not using rye or anything to darken it and sweeten it.
No, just more malts and lovely dark roasts and lots of specialty malts. So dating back to the sort of 1700s, beginning with Edinburgh ales and different kinds of regional Scottish ales, really. So this in the 1700s into the 1800s, where Scotland was quite distinct to England and had their own drinking culture and their own brewing culture. The railway networks and the trade networks meant that Scottish brewers absolutely had access to good hops from Kent and the south coast of England, and also from Europe, from Germany and Czechia. But traveling all that way made it quite expensive, and also getting like good quality stuff. So hoppy beers that are becoming super popular across Europe, but also in Burton-on-Trent, were not as popular in Scotland. It was more about the malty stuff that they lent into.
Right.
Because
Is that a connection to the whiskey industry as well?
I mean, whiskey is just beer that's beer distilled.
Yeah. But they like those dark malted. You know, that's where a lot of that whiskey flavour comes from, isn't it?
Yeah. So having some really good maltings.
Yeah, really roasted, toasty.
Yeah. To get your different kind of speciality malt that's giving you the. Like, what are you getting here? I'm getting a lot of like toffee caramel.
Yeah, I was going to say caramel. First thing that came to mind, caramel. There's a real sweetness, but it's not over the top sweetness.
Yeah.
It's still nicely hopped.
It's got a I mean, there are hops in it, absolutely. It's not like it's not hoppy beer.
But it could be like sometimes a Scotch ale tends to be they're either on the sweet side or it's someone going overboard to counteract the sweetness and trying to make a hoppy Scotch ale.
Which is a clash for me.
Yeah. It sometimes doesn't work. You end up with that, if you want to really hop a bitter beer, go drink an IPA.
Yeah, for me, this is in the world of, I suppose, barley wines.
Yes.
You want something that's got some fruitcake character. You want to have your kind of like Windsor yeast, your fruitiness to it.
It's got some body. It's got a really thick mouthfeel.
Yeah. Absolutely. It's a beer you know that you're drinking. It's a serious beer. Yes. Interesting you say whiskey, the name Scotch. Lots of people sort of connect that with the idea of Scottish whiskey and peat and smoke. And many modern brewers have made smoky Scotch ales, which is a fun thing to do. Like, smoke's delicious and it works in many, many different beer styles. But Scotch ales have nothing to do with smoke whatsoever. Historically, they've never had smoke in them.
They've got the roasty, toasty flavours. I shouldn't have rhymed that. They've got the roast flavours from the malt, from roasting that malt, darkening it up, getting more sugar into it.
Yep.
And that's probably where that darkness comes from in the beer too, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's given the speciality malt's given the colour.
You can age them in whiskey casks.
Yeah.
A Scotch ale aged in a whiskey cask will start to take on some of the whiskey flavours too. So you probably don't want to do it in a smoky whiskey cask, but a Highland or something. They came. In fact, there was a Scottish brewer who did a collaboration with Highland Park.
Yeah,
made a Scotch ale that was aged in Highland Park casks.
Yeah.
And if you drank them next to each other, you could taste the little hint of the whiskey in the beer. It was very good.
And we should say that Scotch ales are a family of beers, sort of in the same way as your bitter. You get your extra special bitter, your best bitter and things. So Scotch ales are delineated by shilling values. So there are still breweries that make beers where you ask at the bar for a 60 shilling or an 80 shilling.
Ah.
So this is a 90 shilling.
Right.
So that number comes from, people think it's the cost of a glass of beer, but that would have been a very expensive glass of beer back in the 18th century.
Yeah.
So that was the cost of a hogshead of the beer. So a 90 shilling was just a very expensive hogshead of beer.
Right.
Which was expensive because it used a lot of malt and had high alcohol. So this is at the top end. So your 90 shilling was sort of 8-9%. I think this is 8.7.
I was going to say, it's starting to, okay.
And it is sort of as simple as that, really. If you're getting a 60 shilling, that's like a wee heavy. So this is on the heavier side of things, but the 60 shilling was more of a sessional beer, more of like a lunchtime sort of beer. It's the same characteristics and properties, but more just like a 4.5%.
Right.
Easier drinking and
just
still lovely and malty, but lighter without the warmth. But with this one in particular, you're not getting a hotness. You're getting the sort of warmthness of the alcohol, but it's definitely there's no burn there, right?
No, there's no burn. There is a taste of the alcohol on the back, but not in like you're drinking a spirit way.
Yeah. Not
in it's a really crazy barley wine that's probably been in the bottle too long. You're aware of it, but it's not it's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
People associate that alcohol bitterness burn as a bad thing, and this certainly doesn't have any of that.
And in the BJCB guidelines, that absolutely is part of the style.
Yeah,
It's,
right.
it's built into it. So yeah, it's another layer that works very nicely.
So if it's not made in Scotland,
Hmm.
can we still call it a Scotch ale?
I mean, in New Zealand, we're outside of the EU or any sort of
True.
jurisdiction, so
True.
you can do what you want over here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure there isn't any regional protection on the term Scotch ale.
Yep, that's good. Cool.
But I mean, what do I know? I'm not a lawyer.
No, I don't know how that works. I'm not a fan of the regional protection thing. But that's a whole different conversation.
But yeah, I feel like this is absolutely.
I'll tell you
honouring.
what. Have you ever tried a wort on its way to being a whiskey?
Yeah.
It's got that sweety maltiness,
Yeah.
and this has kind of got notes of that in it.
Well, yeah. If you.
It would have made a beautiful whiskey.
Yeah. If you wanted to distill this.
Yeah. Instead, it's made a lovely beer.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a swigging whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. Stick it in a cask and take it on a boat.
So yeah, Scotch ales, really cool style. It's harder and harder for brewers to do interesting things these days. So like we always chat about, it's always good to champion and support brewers like Kererū that are pushing the boat out because it is way easier just to put out another hazy every single week and slap a different cartoon on the cover. But this is the sort of beer that true beer lovers love making, and the brew team at Kererū do really great stuff. And it's a beer that sells more slowly, frankly, and it's an expensive beer because there's a lot of malt in there. It's high ABV. The taxes on alcohol in our country are some of the highest in the world, which is a huge factor in the cost of beers like this. So I'm lucky that we can put them into our boxes sometimes. Of course, we can't afford to include every beer that we'd like to in the beer.
Well, I'm just
boxes.
very glad you bought 3 of them out, so I can take one home. Because I haven't told you, Scotch ale is probably my favourite beer style.
Yeah.
I really love that mix of sweetness and the hoppiness from the back, and I love all those different caramel and sugar notes. And if you try a couple of different Scotch ales, they do all taste distinctly different.
Yeah.
That malt bill is very important to how they're built and how they taste. And they are really unique. They're a little bit like whiskies in that regard.
And especially the strong Scotch ales
are
great sippers, good ones to
Yes.
nurse over the course of an hour.
Yep.
Good beer to drink at home.
Yep.
And
I always start them cold.
Yep.
And then let them warm. And if you drink that over the course of half an hour, 40 minutes, as it warms, it will change. And you'll get more of that sweetness and more of those little caramel and sugar notes start to come through.
And the raisins, the dried fruits, that really comes to the fore as it warms up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd love to see
beer.
obviously more brewers making Scotch ales,
Please.
but also a brewery to make a series of them. So whether that be the your 60 shilling, your 80 shilling, your 90 shilling, or if it to be the same recipe and using different kinds of malts. So just like a whiskey, it is getting your malts from different regions or malting them in different ways.
Or roasting them in different ways even.
Yeah,
That'd be
precisely.
something. The same malt bill, but all roasted differently.
Yeah.
You get different notes out of it.
Which is a really cool thing that lots of brewers do with hops.
Yeah.
And it's cool that sometimes breweries do the same beer and you get to experience the different kinds of hops. But,
Has the IPA trend put too much emphasis on hops? and it's left.
Is this going to be a 2-hour video?
Oh, no, but has it left great beers like this kind of a little bit on the sideline when really we should have had a malt trend?
Yeah, I always like to promote the idea that beer is about more than just hops.
Yeah.
Hops are fantastic, and so is yeast.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Yes.
So it brings so much to a beer.
Yeah. Well, what
And
happens?
most breweries use 2 kinds of house yeast.
Yeah.
You know, they've got the California yeast, their 05 that they use in all the ales, and the lager yeast, and that's it. They're clean yeast. But
Well, you're a brewer.
yeah.
What happens if you try and brew beer without malt?
You end up with
You end up with some bitter water.
seltzer or hot water. But yeah, malt is everything.
Yeah. And it'd be nice to see more breweries playing up on that. And I know Kererū have done so in the past. They're one of those brands that when I see them in the shops, I'll stop and look.
Yeah.
And they have made some really, really interesting and really nice beers. And they're pretty much guaranteed to always get a good one. They're one of the few breweries that I don't remember having a beer that I didn't like from them.
Yeah. Yeah, and their barrel series is fantastic. Like you said, just like pushing the boat out. Interesting ingredients, adjuncts, styles.
Yeah. Be adventurous.
But the really putting the focus on the different ingredients in beer. Back in the olden days, in 2015, when we kicked off Beer Jerk, when there was a lot of excitement around craft beer around the world, and I remember, I think maybe it was Northern Monk in Leeds in England, that they'd do a series which was malt, hops, yeast. So each year they'd release a trilogy of cans, and each one had the focus on one of those types of ingredients. And yeah, that sort of experimentation and excitement.
Garage Project have tried it here a little bit. Yeah. They've done the Kererū series where they had the same hops grown in different regions. They've done a couple of series with the same malt bill, the same base, and just changed the hops.
Yeah.
But I'm not aware of anyone doing one where they've changed the malts. Maybe try the same hop, but different malts.
Yeah.
And not only different malts and even taking the same that same grain and treating it differently. Because you can do a lot to the same grain, can't you? You can how long it malts for.
Yeah.
How it's roasted, how long it's roasted, how dark it's roasted.
Well, I think a key thing is that breweries don't have their own maltings.
Yeah.
And there's only one maltster in New Zealand. And you can import some really excellent malt from, Wyman and different great European, international maltsters. But yeah, to have that control over everything. So like one of my favourite breweries, Sailor's Grave, we used to import quite a bit of, and it'd be lovely to do at some point again in Gippsland, in Southeast Australia. They've recently got their own maltings.
Right.
So they're completely rural, and they've got great relationships with local farmers and people that grow corn, barley. So they can do their own maltings, but it's just malt is relatively cheap, and it is a huge effort to make yourself, really.
Yeah. Well, I guess the barley's cheap.
Yeah.
The processing it is space and time consuming, isn't it?
Well, it's just on such a big scale. Yeah. So, I suppose it would be if some of the bigger brewers wanted to do some batches where they chatted to Gladfield Malts and did some great collaborations.
Yeah.
It's something that's a bit beyond small gods, but for some of the bigger guys, it'd be really cool to see, just to really showcase what the amazing stuff.
Absolutely. That'd be really interesting. A collaboration between breweries using the same malt in different ways.
Yeah. But anyway, enough of us giving fantastic ideas to great breweries.
We'll do this forever.
Please use those because, as I say, we're up to probably 550 different beers that we've been through at Beer Jerk so far. So, brewers, keep making new interesting beers, please.
Please. But go and enjoy your Kererū.
Yeah. And as always, really fun, cool artwork, which is all the artwork designed by Natasha. Chris and Natasha, the founders. She always does some really fun, cool stuff. So yeah, they always have. You always know when it's a Kererū can of beer.
Yeah.
With generally a pretty solid pun on the can. Beer drinkers love a good pun, and some cool illustrations there. So
some beautiful artwork.
Great work to brew team, everyone at Kererū. Thank you for joining us. Cheers, Moppy.
Cheers, Luke. Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you next time.